Sa huli, bumuelta ang senadora laban kay Pangulong Duterte na nasa likod umano ng lahat ng panggigipit sa kanya.
Ito po ang bagong komunistang panakot sa ating panahon ngayon, ang adik. Kapag hindi ka sumamba kay Poong Duterte, ikaw ay adik dahil adik lang ang hindi sumasampa kay Poong Duterte. Tumingin ka sa likod mo at huwag kalimutan na ikaw ay isa lamang tao. Hindi Diyos. Tao. Tao ka lamang. Gamit ang panggigipit, blackmail, or marahil pati torture. Ang hindi ko mapapatawad ay ang mga nasa likod nitong pag-iimbento ng mga ebidensya laban sa akin. May araw din po kayo. And what is the situation now in the Bilibid? I have received reports, very reliable, credible reports, of inmates and gang leaders being taken by the Special Action Force deployed to Bilibid for overnight interrogation sessions, reportedly taken to ESOP quarters, which can also be a euphemism for psychological torture. I'm referring to the overnight interrogation sessions. Is that we have a group of serial killers and mass murderers right within the ranks of the organization, which is supposed to protect and serve the people. I might be jumping to conclusions, but what if it is true, as claimed by Mr. Matobato? Was the action of the Senate yesterday, stripping me of my committee chairmanship, going to help to uncover the truth? Or was it part of the plan to hide the truth? I hope it's not the latter. I still bear a great amount of respect for my colleagues. I believe that their action yesterday was born out of an honest desire to diffuse the unnecessary political complexion of the investigation by choosing a more, shall we say, neutral and non-controversial senator to lead the investigation. At this point, I'd like to sincerely congratulate Senator Richard Gordon for having been vested with the vote of confidence of the Senate and for accepting the burden of investigating the current phenomenon of extrajudicial killings. I believe in his capability to carry out a serious probe into these incidents and get to the bottom of the killings. I watched his career as a senator several terms, and I am convinced that he possesses the integrity and the courage not to be cowed by the executive and act as a mere lackey of Malacanang. I believe that he is also capable of exercising that impartiality that Senator Cayetano has repeatedly drilled into our heads that I'm not capable of. I believe that Senator Gordon bears more fortitude and strength than I did to be able to call out and censure any colleague who transgresses the boundaries of unparliamentary speech when he accuses Liberal Party senators of conspiring to overthrow the president without presenting a single piece of evidence, while accusing me of having prejudged the EJK investigation on the basis of an eyewitness account coming from a man who claims to have been an original member of the so-called Davao Death Squad until he was betrayed and framed up by his own comrades for a crime he did not commit. Excuse me, Mr. President. I am fervently convinced that with his experience and no-nonsense personality, Senator Gordon will be more able to throw out any attempt to badger, harangue, abuse, or otherwise malign a witness by misleading and forcing him to admit that the reason he is testifying is because he was recruited by the senators of the Liberal Party to trigger the ouster of the president and to put in Malacanang Vice President Leni Robredo, whom the witness admitted he barely knows. This is the kind of pretentious and hypocrite objectivity coming from Senator Cayetano that Senator Gordon will be facing. I wish you good luck, sir. I can tell you it was not a pleasant experience for me. Not at all. You can have the Justice Committee as well as the offensive and unparliamentary antics of Senator Cayetano. Package deal po yan. On the other hand, you will still have me as a member of the Justice Committee. I promise to behave and not give you a hard time. A Senator Cayetano is enough. I will not bother you with another obnoxious personality in your hearings in the Justice Committee. May nakausap po akong taxi driver noong isang araw. Ang sabi niya ay parang magulo na naman sa bansa natin, katulad ng pagkagulo ng bansa sa ilalim ng ilang mga nakaraang administrasyon. Patayan dito, bombahan doon, mga bangkay na naglipana sa daan, mga barilan ng mga riding in tandem, mga abuso ng mga kapulisan sa mga pag-raid at pagtukhang sa mga urban poor areas, etc. etc. Sa totoo lang po, wala akong nakausap na taxi driver. Ginaya ko lang po ang estilo ng pagkwento ni Senator Cayetano para patunayan niya na ang Pilipinas ay kasing safe na ng bansang Singapore. Sa totoo lang po, medyo nabilaukan ako sa sinabi na yon ni Senator Cayetano kahit nandoon na ako sa katahimikan ng aking opisina kahapon. Kasing tahimik at kasing ligtas na raw tayo katulad ng Singapore. Hindi pa po ako nakapunta sa Singapore. Pero kung kasing tahimik ng Singapore ang Pilipinas, kailangan din bang may bumubulagta na mahigit 30 tao kada araw sa Singapore para sila ay maging ligtas? Kailan din ba nilang magtokhang para malipo lang mga mapanganig, mga pusher at adik at malinis ang mga komunidad ng masasamang elemento? Kailangan ba nilang padanakin ang dugo sa kanilang mga kalsada upang mapanatag ang mga tao na may ginagawa ang gobyerno para mapuksa ang kriminalidad? Kailangan din bang may mamatay na 4 o 5 taong gulang na Singaporean sa kamay ng mga vigilante dahil ang lolo o tatay nila ay mga markadong pusher o adik? O ibang pamamaraan ba ang ginawa ng Singapore para mapanalig ang tao sa respeto, sa kaayusan at sa paghahari ng batas? Ang pamamaraan ng patayan para magkaroon ng katahimikan ay magdudulot lang ng katahimikan ng sementeryo. Papunta na po tayo doon dahil unti-unti nang pinupuno ng administrasyong ito ang ating mga sementeryo sa kanilang pagkibit balikat kung hindi man tahasang pag-engganyo sa isang marahas na landas tungo sa pagpuksa ng literal sa mga kriminal. The point is, Senator Cayetano wants to impress upon us the Singapore-like safety of our communities in the middle of all these killings with anecdotes. His proof that we are safe consists of anecdotal taxi driver stories. In the meantime, his president has just declared a state of national emergency due to the existence of lawless violence. For the first time since the eve of the declaration of martial law 44 years ago to the day today, the country has not come close to such an admission by the state that it is incapable of enforcing order in society that the president has to resort to his extraordinary commander-in-chief powers under the Constitution in order to maintain public safety, peace, and order. So are we in a state of safety, as claimed by Senator Cayetano, or are we in a state of lawlessness, as declared by the President? Safe lawlessness or lawless safety? Ang tawag po doon sa salitang Ingles ay oxymoron, with emphasis on moron. Senator Cayetano's anecdotes will not pass any known academic standard to prove his proposed thesis that our countrymen feel safe. I, for one, do not feel safe. What with the President unleashing the might and power of the whole executive branch, the other half of Congress, and 1/24 of the Senate to go after me and destroy me. A single senator from Bicol who wants nothing else in the world but to be and play with her dogs at home and to see that the killings stop and justice be done to those who already fell during the night. The next time Senator Cayetano recites his now famous anecdotes about how safe we are, maybe he can include my own story. Definitely it is not a story of being safe. It is a story of being the first target of a new McCarthyism in our time, of being singled out by the powers that be for daring to think differently and to advocate passionately for what one believes in. Matagal na po itong linya ng kanyang mga bayarang trolls sa social media. Kapag hindi ka pro Duterte, ikaw ay drug lord coddler, ikaw ay pusher, ikaw ay isang adik. Ito po ang bagong komunistang panakot sa ating panahon ngayon, ang adik. Kapag hindi ka sumamba kay Poong Duterte, ikaw ay adik, dahil adik lang ang hindi sumasampa kay Poong Duterte. Bakit po tayo nahantong sa ganito? Na ang mga nagnanais ng maayos at naaayon sa batas na laban sa kriminalidad ay mga nababansagan ng mga adik at nawawalan ng kalayaan na sumalungat sa pamamaraan ng tinatawag na pagbabago sa pamamagitan ng kaliwat kanang patayan. At ngayon na napapalapit tayo sa paghubad ng katotohanan na ang ganitong pangyayari ay naganap na sa Davao City, ay biglang i-declare na vacant ang committing dumidinig sa paksa ng patayan dahil lang sa sinabi ng pinakadakilang tagapagtanggol ng Pangulo sa Senado at sinigundahan ng isang senador na galing sa mga mahihirap na ngayon ay walang tigil na tinutukhang ng mga pulis. On a personal note, I do not know where all of this will end for me. In the midst of the House inquiry, the Ethics Committee complaint, the election protest, the DOJ persecution, and the President's attacks,